This week on the Push Pull Legs podcast, we dip into Paul Standell's Dream Gym Den. Finally, a man who's speaking some sense.
Three, two, one. Today's going to be a long one, Dan.
Hey guys, welcome to the Push Pull Legs podcast with myself, Dan Meek.
And me, Tom Hall, and we've got one extra face with us. Who are you?
This is Mike Harrison. I'm using a voice changer, so it's going to be fun.
Amazing. We got Mr.
Hi guys.
We got Paul Standell on the show. Thank you for coming on, Paul. We did promise this in the Holly Damage episode. We was like, we're going to bring you on, but we may not have enough time over the course of a day to talk to you. So as we know, you love a chat. So as proven by, we just spent about half an hour pre-show, which is what me and Dan normally do. But yeah, that's absolutely fine. What's going on, my man? All good?
Pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. I might cough a little during this, so I apologize to the listeners for sounding a bit run down, but otherwise all fine. And they're not going to care about the rest of my life, so we can just fucking skip that shit part of the discussion about me.
Such a trooper, look. Turned up with a bit of a cold. He's like, oh, do you know what, guys? Like, I don't know if I can do this, but I'll power through. It's fine.
Basically, like I've been fighting in Ukraine, you're
basically a bodybuilder on a Stairmaster, effectively. Like that's the level. That's the level. It's bigger than being a soldier in Ukraine. I think it deserves that title of fasted cardio, 45 minutes on the Stairmaster. Going to war.
I'm mildly hungry and look pretty fuckable. That's how committed I am to things.
There you go. I'm not. You just need a hoodie now, and then you're sorted.
Oh, it's just a nice big oversized hoodie, just walking through. Absolutely fine. I wonder how many people are
headphones
listening
over the top.
Just get a hoodie that says "We Move" on the top. That'll be fun. It'll be great.
Yeah. I don't think any of our listeners will be listening to this on a Stairmaster, apart from Holly. That's about it.
Hey, Holly, if you're not on the Stairmaster, get on the fucking Stairmaster.
Clearly got cardio to do. It's walking's not cardio. So
yes,
right.
It was
all the body.
Paul, it was quite enlightening when Holly was describing some of her favorite meals and things that she would do in the gym, and Tom was so unaware of what these things were. Cream of rice, he was like, "What is this? I don't understand." And then whey paste, he was like, "What's whey paste?" And I had to explain these things to him.
Sludge.
That was the protein sludge, you know. All this. It was like a whole new world to Tom. He didn't really.
And
understand
then dry scooping. I was like, but that really
like a pre-workout. Or just when you
dry
scoop whey or something. Oh, God.
No, when somebody said that to me today in the gym, they were like, what? Did somebody dry scoop protein? And I was like, I fucking hope not. Jesus, that would be awful, right? Who's done that? Have either of you done that? Dry scooping?
Dry anything sounds bad, doesn't it? Like even dry humping is not as good as the actual. Like it's rare that most things that are dry are better than the wet version.
Agreed. The moist version.
The moist version. Yeah. There we go. There's
someone's right now is hating the fact we've said the word moist in their ears.
1,000%. Yeah.
First thing in the morning, probably.
Yeah, but people kick off on that because other people kick off on that. I feel like people they're not really that bothered by the word moist. It's just someone at some point went, moist, and you went, oh yeah, okay. Because like a cake that's moist, it's fucking fine, right? We just decided that the word moist is wrong. So you're as bad as the cream of rice people if you're offended by moist.
Cream of rice that's got to be moist. Is that the same as a kind of like misophonia kind of thing, or mesophobia? Isn't it like when that one? Yeah, there we go. Like the ASMR people.
I want to murder people who are eating loud things near me in quiet rooms. Earlier, I was sat in a coffee shop. A guy was eating a croissant, and I fantasized about smashing my coffee cup into his face. Like I hated him a little bit, and he turned out to be quite nice because I might have broken a candle holder that fell off the table through nothing to do with my arms. He was like, oh, so I'll help you with that. And he seemed very lovely. So I felt a bit bad that about 5 minutes before,
you're like, I fucking shut it up with your croissant.
Yeah.
Just crushed it in front of him.
The thing is a croissant's not even really a noisy thing to eat, really.
It was for him.
He made it so, right? Yeah. There's something we need to delve into. What's the worst thing that sets off your misophonia?
So it's generally crunchy stuff in a quiet room. Now, if I'm eating as well, it doesn't bother me. But if I'm sat there and say, the girl I'm seeing pulls an apple out, no, you can't eat an apple.
Apple's a big one, isn't it? Yeah.
In a quiet room. Cereal, it's just that like.
Crunch isn't too bad. It's more
slurp,
sometimes it's the
slurping of soup.
Like I don't know if it's coming through the microphone or not, but it's that It's that kind of like sometimes like when people are trying to breathe a little bit as they're chewing. I don't know what it is.
So you have to go in hard to the microphone, get a little bit closer, and then just go for it. Everybody's gonna really enjoy it.
The one, they sound a bit like a Frenchie or a bulldog trying to fucking eat. You know, when they're like,
yeah,
and like they can't, like they're mouth breathers, and they're eating.
That's what it is. It's a bit like that. It's not about if it was crunchy or not. No, I'm not supposed to about that.
No, I dislike all of it. All of it.
Right, must not eat in front of Paul.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, must leave room.
The key is it has to be if I'm in a quiet room, then it gets me. If it's a loud room, lots of stuff going on, it's fine. But even as a kid, I have two younger brothers. As a kid, when we get back from school, if one of my brothers tried to come in and like eat cereal next to me while I was watching TV, I'd kick him out.
Wow.
Unacceptable.
Well, the next time I see you, I'm buying croissants and cereal. Definitely. So that is happening.
Well, we also know that Paul's dream gym day is going to involve him eating alone in a quiet room. So when we get to that bit,
yeah. There you go.
All right. So for anybody that's living under a rock, Paul, state what you do for your business. Everybody on here is to do with fitness. We might like venture out because we all tend to be a bit boring after a while. But yeah, in fitness, obviously you're a decent person. That's why you're on here.
Thanks, buddy. So I run a biomechanics education company called the PT Project, and then do a bunch of online coaching, mainly for PTs these days who want to upskill a little bit and look reasonably fuckable naked. That tends to be the general gist of what they are. / they're interested in making the most of their training, or maybe they found things like squat benches and deadlifts and stuff don't seem to suit them as much. They keep getting niggles from it and they can't quite figure out why. That's the type of audience I tend to work with these days.
Perfect. And that's enough fitness talk, right? Let's move on to that.
Exactly. Now back to the class.
All right. So as we have been going through this series, obviously we bring somebody on in the world of fitness who is relatively wonderful. And we're going to go through, obviously, a bunch of questions talking about your dream fitness. Is it dream fitness day, Dan, or dream gym day? I'm still not I keep like referring to it on different things. But
I think it's dream gym day, isn't it? Because your dream fitness day for me would be anything that's not fitness. So it would be. I
was going to say I've got lots of interests outside of the gym.
It's just that I think like I don't know. I'm going to guess. I don't know this about Paul, but I'm going to guess that Paul sits in the camp similar to me and you, Tom, in that at this point in our careers, our lives, our ages, whatever it is, that we train because we want to look good and feel good and know it's good for us more than we like, oh my God, I must go to the gym because I love it so much. Like I always describe it to people like we had, it was years ago now, we had, I think we had AJ Morris on, and it was kind of the question of, what would you do on the if it was your last day on earth, what would you do? And he was like, I go to the gym. And I was like, cool, that's for you. I'd like, this the last place
like, what?
Even if I had like a year to live, I just wouldn't go to the gym. It just wouldn't be something I do. And it's just that whole thing for me is like, I think that's how you can define whether you love the gym or not. It's like, okay, would you go if you had a year left to live? No, I wouldn't. I'd be on the golf course. I'd be doing whatever I want to do, right? It's like that whole thing of, I think for me, it's just a means to an end. I have to do it. Get it done, and it's fine. And I'd imagine Paul's the same. That would be my guess if I had to swing one way or the other.
Yeah, you're pretty much right with that, mate. I enjoy the gym, but it used to be as big a part of my life than it is now. And I think you pretty much encapsulated it with, I still want to look pretty good. I don't want my body to be aching and broken. I want to be able to just pop out. If I want to play a game of five-a-side, I can play some five-a-side. If I want to go for a run, I can go for a run. Like, I want to be reasonably okay at most things and have my body die as slowly as is humanly possible while allowing me to function kind of well and indulge all the other shit that I like doing. So, I think you pretty much nailed that one hit the nail on the head.
Beautiful. Right.
So we've got to be Dream Gym Day then, hasn't it? For that.
Dream Gym Day. That'd be fun.
No, there's Paul's going to the theatre apparently, and then he's going to go to a gig.
Hey, you can do that after the gym if you want. It's up to you.
Yeah,
that's fine.
This is true.
You just got to go to the gym first, otherwise this section of the show doesn't really work. So it's fine. All right, let's start it off. So you're waking up on your Dream Gym Day. Actually, we normally go straight in. It's protein shake or protein bar.
Oh,
yeah. What are we going?
Protein shake, probably. Like, I don't mind a protein bar, don't get me wrong, but am I allowed to? I was going to say, am I allowed to make the shake fancy? But then I realized the
whatever the fuck you like.
I've never made a fancy shake in my fucking life, so I don't really know what a fancy shake looks like. Occasionally, you make a shake with milk and go, "Ooh, it tastes a lot better when you make it with milk." Gets that little thickness going. So yeah, I'm probably going to go shake.
Shake.
Yeah.
That's you're the first person so far that would go shake.
That's because they're all fucking losers.
But it's your dream gym day, mate. You can go make it as fancy. What would you put in it then, in theory? But then I feel like you're going to be erring on the side of just making a fucking milkshake.
Yeah, no, I really am.
Sprinkling some protein powder on
it. Just one dream gym day. Now, I've never taken steroids, but if I've only got one dream gym day, most of it, I want to put cocaine in there. There's going to be some trend. We'll really start the day off strong. Incidentally, I once knew a guy whose pre-workout involved a can of Red Bull, 2 Pro Plus, and a line of Charlie. And I was always like, wow. You must, if you didn't have the greatest session on record ever, you should demand your money back or get a heart transplant because you're probably going to die soon. But
where'd you go from there though? Like,
that's what I'm like. What's going on in his life that like he needs to get severely amped up to do this?
I was still on a Tuesday as well. He wasn't even like going out afterwards. I was like, you've got problems. I can't be asked to find out about them, so you carry on. Yeah, so I'd probably just go with a shake. It wouldn't be. I don't love putting loads of stuff in shakes. You know, some people want to like put oats in it and blend oats and fucking. I don't want to chew it. Like I dislike orange juice with bits, let alone a shake with it. Like I'm about a smooth orange juice kind of guy.
I mean, we've already covered this. Clearly, with bits, it's going to be way too kind of slurpy, maybe crunchy. Even you might make it crunchy. Fuck it, you're not having that. You're good. You'll make it as silently as possible. Are you in some sort of like noise like proof room whilst you?
Yeah, I like to eat in noise cancelling headphones, but then it just focuses me in on myself. You know, have you ever tried eating with noise cancelling headphones on? Weird. If you've never done it, do it once. I'm not going to say it's a great experience, but it just feels different. So no, mine would be boring. It'd be like some kind of perform way, like cinnamon donut with flavor in milk, and make it reasonably thick, and I'll be pretty happy. It's really dull. Yeah.
Are you going full fat milk at least?
Yeah. It's a dream gym day.
Fuck it.
Dream gym day is not a day spent fucking dieting on poverty calories.
No. Tell that to Holly. Jesus Christ.
Holly's a special case.
Yes,
correct. Yeah, I learned a lot during that episode.
Sorry, Holly.
I'm hoping I learn on this one.
There will be no cream of rice in this day of mine, for the record.
Good, wonderful.
Also, who discovered you could cream rice?
Well, someone did, and they gave it to babies first before they gave it to anyone. And that,
babies. The natural progression was babies to bodybuilders. So
of course, fine. Yeah. Why
I'm surprised they've not like started with breast milk. To be honest, I can see that happening
because you'll start something, Paul. Don't say that.
Yeah, there could be money in that. This is a new venture.
I mean, they're pretty much already there with like putting all their food into a jar, mixing it all together and eating it like with a spoon.
Yeah.
I mean, so the jars of food, they're kind of there. All they need to do is liquidize it a bit more. And then, like you say, just get some breast milk. And I think they pretty much behave the same as babies. So, they're kind of close to being.
All right. You're gonna go to the gym. So are you gonna go AM or PM workout, mate?
I'm going to straddle both. I'm going to go 11:55 just to fuck you boys off. I'm getting about. I could go 11:55 PM, right? If I had to go AM or PM, well, if I go AM, the problem with the dream gym day, I suppose, is what do I do after the dream gym day is finished by 10? What am I going to do with the rest of the day? Just reflect on the gym.
Well, hey, if it's a dream gym day, you get it out of the way. That'd be my dream gym
That's
day.
what I mean, right? Like if I get to go and do other stuff, then I'm going to put it AM because otherwise it's a pain in the ass that I've got to go and do after some more of the fun things. If I was just picking like when do I feel best training, it's actually probably about 10, 11 in the morning. I rarely go at that time. I tend to do it first thing-ish and just kind of tick it out of the way so I can crack on with other stuff. But in terms of when I feel best, it's probably like late morning. To give the serious answer, I suppose.
I think that's
I should give some honest answers at some point.
That's probably the time I think most people do. Like, I always feel like at the weekends I have my best sessions, and I usually go for like 9:30. Whereas during the week I have to go at like 8 because I fucking get out of the way, going a bit earlier. Yeah. But yeah, I think just because you'd have that little bit more of a lie-in, you still then just go for your morning and fuck around and whatever, take your time, have a coffee, and then you go around 9:30. I don't go 9:30, 10. I think it gives you enough time, isn't it, to
go for a little brunch kind of thing afterwards. I'm like, okay, I can get on board with that.
There you go, easy.
I like the fact that this fitness podcast is like, we can't, none of us can be fucked to train.
Well, we worked out, we were talking about the theory, right? That we think, because Dan was a dad. Dad. I just called you
Dan
Dad.
was a dad. Has something terrible happened?
He's a dad. I called you Dad before. Yeah, I definitely have.
Is this how we're announcing it? This is a super terrible way to.
Yeah, it's very awkward announcement.
Sounds tragedy.
Yeah.
The theory on that your heart has as many a certain amount of beats.
Oh, the old Trump
basically.
thing.
And then you're like, all right, Dan put it to we've got a certain amount of workouts we can do in our lifetime to stomach. And because us three as kind of people have trained a lot in our youth, let's say, and throughout our 20s, that we kind of get to the stage where we're like,
it's the theory. It's the same with. So this is where my theories come from, right? It's the same as when you have footballers who are young and they train a lot, they play a lot, all that sort of stuff, and they kind of like get to 40 and they just go, I can't be fucking bothered with this anymore. Because why would you, right? You just wouldn't carry on playing football. You wouldn't bother going to the gym as much. And it's like when you meet those people who like discover the gym when they're 40 and they like absolutely freaking love it, and it's all they do and all they talk about for like 10 years. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like we've done that bit, and it's kind of like I just feel like everyone has a finite amount of workouts in them, and we're just on the latter half of ours. That's the way I feel about it. Is that we've done that when we were younger. We're like, I love the gym 5-6 times a week. I love it. It's the best place to be in the world, and it's really not. It's means to an end. And as I feel like those people who are that age, they realize that this could be the fountain of youth that they want. This could be the thing that changes them. They've never been before, and they get those endorphins. They know the rush. They get the feeling of it all. Seeing those newbie gains, but they get them later on. And I just feel like that's what we all have. That's my theory, and it's played out. It seems to be playing out. Like when I meet people.
I think you're hitting something with the early games are the biggest gains you're ever going to make in your life.
Yeah.
So it is the most rewarding at that point. It's like for every pound I'm investing, I'm getting shitloads back. And then, the further along you go, I'm putting a pound in, I'm getting 0.1 of a penny back here. This is like the return on the amount of effort slows and slows and slows. And, hopefully by that point, you've built a physique or an ability to do something that feels reasonably rewarding. So you're actually already out now ahead of the pack. So most of I think the sort of societal benefit of look, here's the other benefits about being in your 30s with this. When you're 20, most people look all right when they're 20, like almost regardless of what they do. So the difference between you working out at 20 and some of your mates who don't do jack shit, there might be a difference, but it's not necessarily night and day. At 34, I look night and day better than half of my mates who've never trained and who've just been beering. And I look worse than I did when I was, say, 28 type thing, right? Because my physique isn't as big a deal to me as it was at that point in my life. But relative to my peer group, I look younger, I look better, I'm kind of happy. And like, feel like, all right, well, I don't have to put quite as much in to get that. I'm trying to maintain this, maybe develop a few kind of bits and pieces. And you probably undulate a little bit and like wanting to push a bit harder at certain times than others, occasionally fancy a bit more of a goal, etc. But you're also balancing more shit. Like you've made an identity of some kind, like, okay, I've got a business to run and I actually want to see friends and family and I have all these other hobbies and stuff. Whereas sometimes when you're in your early 20s, it's like, I think a lot of people, we mentioned Mike earlier, sucking at golf. And maybe one of the reasons that he likes bodybuilding is because, sorry, Mike, he's not that naturally athletic and good at actual sports. It's like, well, I can fucking lift stuff and I've got decent enough genes for getting massive, right? So this becomes rewarding and it's like that, sports self-select. So if you're pretty good at something, you get a lot of feedback on that. That feels pretty good. I want to do it a bit more. I'm better than the rest of the people that I kind of see. Well, if you get into that in your early 20s and that becomes your whole identity, I think I can see how an AJ Morris type person that molds that. But if you come into it either having had a broader range of interests anyway, or a different part of identity and all that kind of shite, I think you get this bit where you go, all right, well, I'm getting less return on this stuff. It's not as big a part of my identity as kind of everything else. Like, I don't need to be massively obsessed with this to keep it ticking over all the time. I just don't think you do. Like, I don't buy that idea that you have to be all in on something to make pretty good progress in it. I'm like, no, you fucking don't.
I think that's where a lot of coaches probably lose a lot of potential clients. Like, I think as they get to this age, I feel like we completely get someone who's 35, 40, who wants to feel better, look better. And a lot of people online are making it look as if, well, they go to the gym 5 times a week and they do all this sort of stuff. And as much as they say to people, you don't need to go 5 times, you don't need to go 3. It's like, yeah, but you're not portraying that. You're showing a very different side to that. So, whereas I feel like with us, I'm very open. I'm like, yeah, look, I've got to be here. I've got to do this shit. Don't really like doing it, but hey, it's good for you. And you know how to fit that into a week for someone who's in that place, right? And I think you hit the nail on the head there. I think it's very much a case of people get into it at this age, wanting to be better than their peer groups and all that sort of stuff, and then they realize, actually, it's going to take a bit of effort. It's going to take, it's not as easy as it would be if you were, like us, I suppose, when you did it when you were a bit younger.
One of my favorite dumb things that we usually hear from certain coaches is, how stuff in the fitness industry goes in cycles. So the sleep stuff was there for a while. I don't know what it's quite moving on to at this point, but 20-year-olds, 22-year-olds, who's a bunch of their clients are like youngish parents. The importance of sleep. Let's talk about the importance of sleep and sleep hygiene. It's like, okay, all right, carry on.
Yeah.
But you're really missing the fucking point. You don't understand who you're talking to here.
Yeah.
Like the odds of them implementing any of your solutions are uber shit, which makes it quite comical. So I'm happy to watch it.
It's what makes me laugh is the ones that say they work with busy professionals, but yet they've never been a busy professional in their life. And I'm like, you do not understand that when they get home after getting on the tube at 7:30 full, and it's 8 p.m. and they have an hour with their other half and they want to watch Netflix, you telling them you could be going to the gym when you instead of watching Netflix is not helpful. They just think you're an idiot because you've not been in their position. And it's just like, come on, like again, it's that whole thing of if you don't understand, you're not been in that situation. I think a lot of coaches need to realize, because they have that very privileged position of being, well, I went to the gym when I was 20, I did all that stuff, and it becomes part of your life. And it's just that massive disconnect, isn't there, with coaches and people like that. But yeah. Anyway, your dream gym day then is starting at 10 o'clock. So
10 o'clock, which we have to do. What's come before that, my friend?
Well, yeah, that's going to be my question. Is do you eat before? Is that where's the gap? Is there a gap there? Do you just have your protein shake with your full fat milk?
Just fucking full fat.
The funny part of this is you boys started thinking about gym stuff, and I was like, do I get laid in the morning? Is that what we mean? I was like, that might not be the worst start to the morning.
If I'm
going the opposite approach. Yeah, I'm going to go the opposite approach to the box, right? Like, yeah. Just a decent morning ejaculation. Then I'll move into my protein shake. Probably have a wash, because you probably should afterwards.
Before, just always after protein shakes, have a wash.
I feel dirty after this. I'll keep my cock filthy.
It's the full fat milk.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm dirty.
I am a fan of a white monster. That is one of the few like fitnessy kind of things that's a bit of a cliche that I do abide by. Is I do like a monster. White monster me all day. I was going to say all day, every day. Wouldn't mean that. That wouldn't be true.
Not if you want to steal hygiene on point. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. So no, I would. Little morning wood. Put that to some use. Get up, have a shake, drink a monster. Honestly, I like having a read in the morning. That has nothing to do with the gym. It's not going to help me in the gym, but I'll probably have a read. Let my shake go down. Let my caffeine kick in, and then we'll schlep our way to the gym. I would like to drive to the gym so I can sing songs loudly in the car.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
You can do it on the tube if you wanted to. There's nothing stopping you, by the way.
Well, no, that's not true. There's a lot of societal pressure to not. So you can say that's nothing all you like, but we've all been on trains with crazy people, and I don't want to be that guy. So I'll stick to my car.
So you going is the white monster your caffeine? You're not going coffee or anything like that?
To be honest, actually, this one depends on the time of the year and if it's warm or not. Like I go through phases. If it's cold, I tend to like a hot drink, so I'll go with a coffee. If it's warmer, I prefer a cold one, and then I can't be asked to make an iced coffee because I'm not that pretentious. So I'll make a monster instead.
Fair enough.
Are you guys pretentious coffee people? This is what
definitely. Both.
I was like, the view I had of the faces looking back at me were like, how fucking dare you?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to wrap this up.
Me and Dan will both slave over a coffee. Absolutely fine. Yeah. It's one thing we bond over, unfortunately.
You can go there. Coffee and golf. You wankers.
Yep. Unfortunately. Right. So that's your breakfast. That's what's going in. As you're going to the gym, we kind of want to know what's going to be your workout attire as well. Is there anything that you're like, I'm gonna wear my exact Gymshark whatever?
No. 90s TV show Gladiator. I think if you remember those things, that's really what makes a great workout. I've never really thought about my attire as being an important part of my perfect gym day. I think this will also depend on how lean I am.
So these are the important questions, mate.
These are the important points. if I look like I currently look, it's not going to be that tight, right? We're going to want some kind of just jumper hoodie kind of thing. It depends what I'm training. If it's a lower body, then I'm going to be in shorts. If it's upper, I'll probably wear some trackies. But unless I'm going in a tutu or something biblically fucking weird, it's going to make very little difference to my perfect gym day. This is like asking, what color socks would you like to wear? I'm like, I don't care. As long as they go with the rest of the thing, it's going to have zero bearing. What did Holly say to this? Now I'm curious. Because she'll have had an answer. I guarantee Holly will have had. Yeah.
I feel like she had more an answer than Amelia. Amelia couldn't give a shit. She just went like baggy clothing, tights. That's about it, wasn't it? I feel like right. Holly had her like perfect 2 fucking piece that she'd like laid out and pressed like the night before. That was going in.
I want to talk about this. Right? Because I don't know what this is. I don't know why it's a trend. I don't know if it's because I follow too many coaches now, but there's female coaches now posting videos on Instagram what I'm wearing to the gym. Like, get ready with me going to the gym.
I mean, that sounds like I need to do this. Jesus.
Actually, like the actual reel is just them in normal clothes and then them kind of showing like themselves getting changed, but obviously like not too much because it's Instagram, but then also enough to also go like, what the fuck are you showing that bit for? Like, why is that thing?
OnlyFans.
Like, yeah, and it's just a bit of a weird thing for me. I'm like, are people really that bothered about this? And then I'm kind of like, well, no, the reason they're doing it is because people watch it because they think they're going to get naked, and obviously not going to get naked, and like they get reach from it and all that sort of stuff.
And that's why Dan was disappointed because he had watched.
Yeah, I was like, this is why I'm seeing more of them now. This is just on my thing now. I'm like scrolling, and I'm like, where's someone going to show me something good? Yeah, but it's an actual like so. I don't know if you do this in fitness sometimes, but like, you know, when there's like an acronym for something and you don't know what the fuck it is and you're like, I'm so out of the loop, I'm too old, whatever. It was an acronym for like, get ready with me going to the gym or something like that. It must be a fashion thing that people do, like in you know, on Instagram with fashion stuff, like, but it was like a gym edition, you know, you're like, oh my God, like no one gives a shit. Are you going to the gym? Like,
but this is perfect content for you because your like dour, oh fuck's sake, approach to this, I think would work really well and quite funny with let's get ready with Dan going to the gym. So
yeah, can you imagine? It literally just be like here's my coffee.
Yeah. No, I want the half sexy getting dressed thing. Well, fuck you and your
change out of one white t-shirt into another white t-shirt. Perfect. I'm good to go.
I'm gonna continue wearing the shorts that I already had on. So
yeah, I'm gonna take off my sliders and put on some trainers, and I'm going to the gym. Like, yeah, it's just
get ready with me.
It's bonkers. Like, genuinely, just they still haven't shown me what I want to see yet on the video.
Is it that kind of like fitness meets lifestyle content? Is that what it is?
I think
it's that kind of thing.
Does feel like it. Like, I got heaps of shit because I was having to wear a fucking My Protein thing because I was up at head office like on Friday, and then at least 3 or 4 of my clients were like, "Why the fuck are you wearing fitness gear?" I think that's the way that I was like, that's where we kind of come across because I hate wearing fitness clothing. And don't care. Like, I get paid by My Protein, but it's like I don't wear any of their stuff. I turned up at head office, do a whole day with them. They were like, "Why aren't you in My Protein gear?" I was like,
I hate your clothes.
I was like, this is comfy. So we're like, fuck's sake. I was like, all right, it's fine. But it's just, there's some people are very passionate about it. And then I will quite happily, as you can see, wear a Star Wars t-shirt. I'll be wearing a band t-shirt, wear a fucking football top. Like, that's it.
If My Protein did like a crossover with like a collab thing here with Star Wars, would we wear that one? Could we find a happy medium?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. What I have noticed as well, Dan, which is quite good. So obviously we can get My Protein stash. The top they did give me on Friday, a few of them are great for golf. So that's win-win. So I can
except for it's like above 20 degrees over here most of the time, and I don't need it.
It was a long sleeve, yeah, that was the thing. So it's fine. All right, so you're going into the gym. What is going to be your perfect warm-up, my friend? Do you have a warm-up? What's going on? We're in the realms of, like, obviously you're going to take as many cuffs and all this bullshit as possible. So get another review.
Paul's warm-up is carrying his bag from the car into the gym.
Of the equipment that he has to
I do have a comically large bag that comes
in fact, I'm quite surprised the gym doesn't travel to Paul.
Well, give it time. I like to cuff myself from the neck down, a little bit of asphyxiation. I find that gets me pretty warm. Little occlusion training. training for the whole body. A cock ring at the same time, again, gets you very ready for action. God, these are questions I've never given that much. What's my perfect warm-up feel like? Depends how my body feels on the day, to be honest. And if I've got any niggles or kind of bits and pieces.
So scientific, isn't it? Depends how I feel on the day. Like,
sign up for
perfectly
Paul's
programmed
biomechanics program. Yeah. Depends how you feel.
I was like, well, if let's say we're going to go and train upper, because I'm assuming that's going to be one of the questions of like, what are we training? And I have maybe not the world's worst calf genetics, but they're not high on the list of calf genetics. I ain't picking. I'm long and gangly by nature. By nature, I should be an 800 to 1500 meter runner. But I had no desire to look like an 800 to 1500 meter runner.
And you have a brain, so you wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah. I mean, that could be debated, but that's a different issue. So we're going to train upper. So usually my answer's boring. It's going to be, well, what am I going to do? And I'm going to start out on the first exercise or two, gradually ramp up into that thing, unless I've got some funky shit going on with my shoulder. But frankly, my upper body at the moment feels pretty good. I've got nothing that's particularly needs warming up. Unless you wanted the answer of like, I would get on some Cybex Eagle stuff. And even if I wasn't using it, just every rep, I'd just be milking some shit. And ramping that guy up, playing some music. That's probably about it. The reality is, half of my workout music is I listen to podcasts and audiobooks. Like, unless I fancy like a bit more of a kick in the dick on that particular day. So yeah, my warm-up routine is usually I annoyed my knee skiing last week. So I might do a couple of slightly different things for lower body tomorrow. But if I've got nothing going on, which usually I don't, then yeah, it's just going to be a gradual ramp into the first exercises.
Beautiful. So as Holly put, she tried to explain to me and Dan, it was feeder sets. So that was fun.
Oh yeah. When I joined the muscle, when I joined the Muscle Mentors, that was part of the training sheets that they used. I used slightly different ones even during the time, and I just removed that from my thing.
They sound like warm-up sets to me, Holly.
They're just warm-up sets. They're just warm-up sets. I was like, why are we feeding them?
Sets. I like that term.
I think it's because they're usually on such low calories that they have to use the word feed because it makes them feel as if they're getting some sort of calorie, but energy from it. Like, oh, this is a good thing. Yeah. Just relate to food. They'll pay more attention to it.
We need more words. These are potentiation sets. We should call them that. Right. Just really start fucking around.
So we kind of dabbled on one of the questions there straight away. You kind of seamlessly went into it. Such a pro, such a
nice,
segue. So
what did I say?
One of them was the music you listen to during your workout.
So,
but you listen to podcasts.
I do. Yeah, I do. I listen to history podcasts primarily because getting ramped, getting super amped, listening to Julius Caesar or Alexander the Great. Or
I've just worked out why this is Paul's dream gym day, and he got laid in the morning. It's because there's no chance of getting laid listening to history podcasts anywhere else other than a dream gym day. So it makes sense now.
If you were single and wanting to, approach a lady or a guy, whatever you're into, at the gym, I wouldn't advise listening to the Rest is History podcast or Dan Carlin's Hardcore History as a way of like, I'm going to approach her. She's going to really enjoy this chat about the War of Spanish Succession. That's what we're going to go and have a little waffle about. So, again, it varies. Other times, so if I was going to listen to music within that, which is like 50% of the time, it's not always podcasts.
Which is what everybody calls it, music. That's fine.
Music.
That's the normal term.
Well, I listen to sung podcasts. They're a very niche type of podcast. You guys should do an episode where you sing every line that you've got.
Okay.
I'm a rock guy, so I will listen to. Ready for a really aggressive band name? Does anyone know Five Finger Death Punch?
Yeah, of course. I've seen them many times. Finally, Dan, someone who knows.
There we go. Okay, right.
So but Tom, did you hear what he was talking about before this? About how cool he is? Like history stuff?
Put me in a good light, does it?
Well, one of the reasons I had to
Game of Thrones sword, and we
yes.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, now this is the kind of chat we just ignore the fitness stuff. The reason I started working out, by the way, is I'm a massive nerd at heart, and there's no way I'd ever have got laid if I didn't at least get myself in vague shape. Because otherwise it was just going to be chats about
nice,
he's got a pot of wand.
Yeah, we go.
Yeah. So it'd be 5-finger
You know,
death
he does that.
punch.
He does that every time a girl comes over as well. But you're more impressed than any of the girls have been. So there you go. That's, tells you everything you need to know.
For a minute, when you said when a girl comes over, I was like, what does he do with the wand?
But then isn't that a kind of
just show
the
them,
gym
but...
anyway? So we spend endlessly trying to look good, and then we get guys complimenting on your physique instead. So that's generally what happens,
that's also the same thing. It's the same thing in Tom's house. Like, wow, look at that wand. By the way, incidentally, have you ever read? Someone did a thing with the Harry Potter books where they replaced every time they say wand with the word penis. Have you ever read the? Okay, I'll send you this afterwards. It's one of the funniest things you'll ever hope to read. Oh, it's good. There's some great stuff with it. Anyway, so yeah, 5-finger death punch, some Metallica, maybe some Pantera, some Disturbed, something kind of like that is usually what I'll listen to within there. Occasionally it'll vary. If I've just gone to watch a theatre show and I've watched a musical, occasionally I'll listen to a musical soundtrack, so that's pretty different.
I mean, this is like two in the same pod, because on my Spotify Unwrapped, on number 4 was show tunes, because I do the same thing. Yeah, like I was like,
Tom, this does not make you sound any better.
Nah, me and Tom are becoming best friends. This is what's happening right now.
just being truthful, Dan. It's a true show. I'm in the truth seat. So yeah, that's what we're going. So what was it this year? I did a lot of the Book of Mormon. Friend
of mine's in the Book of Mormon.
Lovely.
It's a good show.
So I've seen it 3 years in a row.
Okay, so he's been playing the same guy the whole time. You know the guy who sings the "Turn It Up."
There we go. That's a great song.
Right. So him is a lad
called
Stevie.
It's been nice speaking to you guys anyway. So I'm gonna,
we'll take it from here.
And I'm just gonna go. So
he's a friend of mine. Yeah. It's Book of Mormon's a great show. Girl I'm seeing at the moment is in the UK tour of Blood Brothers.
Lovely.
Yeah, no, I'm a massive kind of theatre nerd and what have you. Come From Away was one of my favourite ones the last couple of years. I've seen that about 6 times. So yeah, Dan's loving this chat now.
I realise, yeah. Dan, I'm going to see Wicked next month. And not Wicked. Not Wicked. Fucking hell, I'm going to see Hamilton next month. I've seen Wicked loads of times. I've never seen Hamilton.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I've watched it on Disney.
So I was just like,
not the need.
I'm just buy tickets for Christmas, and I was like, fuck it. Let's just take my whole family and let's go watch Hamilton.
Nice.
That'd be fun. But anyway, back to the gym. Before Dan just starts crying.
I'm really tempted just to go to
So I guess we have to kind of move on to your main session. So if we do kind of control this slightly, and we're going to go best exercise. That's it, just one.
I'm only allowed to do, so I got to do one. So
you're allowed to
really ramping up.
You had all that caffeine. You had all those feeder sets for one exercise.
I got laid for this one exercise. Okay.
So you're allowed one exercise and one exercise machine. So they can be the blended of the same thing.
Are they two separate things or the same thing?
They are two separate, if you want them to. But I realized that obviously you guys in I use this term, the other end of the biomechanical spectrum, to me, use machines quite a lot.
Love a machine.
Cuffs and stuff. So whereas I'm like, I guess I'll do some leg extensions. And then that's about it. So
are we counting cables in the machine thing? Because I could come up with 2 different things here just for the sake of giving 2 different answers.
I don't think so. I feel like cables don't sit in machines. I think machines is like fixed. Yeah, like, you can do loads of shit with cables. It's fine. And also, like, I've been to a gym recently, it's in central London. The cable, I've only ever seen it there, and it's not around in the UK very much, but it is in the States, where the squat rack, the 2 things have cables in them.
Ooh.
How cool is that? It's such a space saver as well. So the whole rack is all encompassing, and then it's got literally like a Cybex like cable within the kind of tubular rack bit. And I was like, that's fucking, like, how has that not been thought about at all?
Yeah, it's way more efficient.
Yeah, I was like, I don't have to move. This is fantastic.
I know, that's super useful for programming. Because one of the programming considerations for people is just like, okay, well, what can I put that with that won't take up much space or require you to hog a bunch of kit or whatever it kind of needs to be? So that would be awesome. Listen up, manufacturers. Put your fucking finger out. Put cables into more of your squat racks. Okay, so machine weight. I am going to give you wanky answers for these particular ones, probably. So
what we want.
I'm sure you guys have spent time mocking Cybex love or Nautilus love at some point, because if you haven't, you should. But I will pick a Cybex. Well, actually, no. I'll tell you what. This is my dream day. there's a guy called Tom Purvis, who's the founder of the RTS, the Resistance Training Specialist course that is kind of the godfather of most of the biomechanics stuff that we've got.
Isn't that who you got laid with in the morning before you?
Tom Purvis, he was there, wasn't he?
Isn't that the guy you got laid with just before you had your dream gym day?
Yeah. Hopefully Tom never hears this. So if you go to Tom's gym in Oklahoma, so it's less Hawaii based. You did say Hawaii with that, didn't you? Or am I just imagining things? Did you say Hawaii, or did I just? No. Wow, my brain is like, he said Hawaii. Because also in my dream gym day, it would be in Hawaii. So okay. Maybe I'm just projecting that shit. Anyway, Tom's gym in Oklahoma. So Tom used to be one of the engineers and stuff for Cybex and worked for NASA for a period and some bunch of other kind of shit. Super smart dude. When you go to his gym, it's like a little playground because all of his bits of kit, and he's got more than you'd ever care to count, have all been welded, adjusted, manipulated, and fucked about with to make them as interesting and feel as good as possible. And there's a brand called Kaiser, which is an air resistance type kind of machine, and he's got a bunch of those that he's pissed about with, so they feel super nice. And you get your little paddles so you can increase or decrease the resistance and keep the fucking thing going super easily. Which one would I pick of his rowing machine, his back machine within that? If I could only pick one bit of kit, then I'm going to go super niche and go one that you can't use or play with anywhere outside of Oklahoma with Tom Purvis's adapted Kaiser machine. So that would be one on that. And then if I had to do just one exercise for the sake of picking something different, I'll go with and I'll make it quirky again for you boys. So I'll go with a restrained single arm cable tricep extension. So I've got a little restraint on my upper arm that I can kind of shove into.
I mean, you said restrained. I feel like
GIMP mask. Exactly. I've got a GIMP mask on. I've got a cuff or something around the upper arm, just blocking the cable having to be juggled by my shoulder, and I'll line it up nice and have a good time with my triceps.
Perfect. It's exactly the kind of thing we thought was going to happen, basically, when we brought you on.
Yeah,
yeah. But I like you've actually picked the gym as well. It's something that I think it's underrated. There's always been a gym or something that you've enjoyed the environment of that you definitely want to train in. Would that be Tom Purvis's one, or is there a gym?
Yeah, Tom. Yeah, I mean, it's awkward because it's all the way in Oklahoma. And
you can click your fingers. It's Dream Gym Day.
So it's Dream Gym Day. So yeah, when you go, and each time you go, he's changed stuff and forever kind of playing with things. He's adjusting stuff even when you're there sometimes. And it's not till you play on some great kit and then play on some shit kit that you realize there is a difference in the quality of kit. There's a bunch of stuff that's in the kind of middle ground that's just like, that's fine, that's all right, that's not bad. They're, much of a muchness. And then there's some stuff that, and pretty much anyone who's ever worked out in a bunch of gyms knows, right, where you jump on that feels so much nicer than the one I've got. And you might not know why, but we've all experienced, that's a nice thing and that's a less nice thing. Tom's gym is like going to just the fucking mecca of places where everything feels great. And so, yeah, Tom's gym is comfortably the one there.
Nice. So in terms of workout partner, is Tom sticking around to work out with you? Or would you train alone? Or
Interesting.
Would you train, if you had to pick one workout partner, or you can train alone, who would you then train with?
Well, so I could approach this a couple of different ways. One of which has nothing to do with the training aspect, and is I could have a chat. In which case, I'm going to pick someone not related to training at all. I'll be like, there's a historian called Tom Holland or a podcaster called Dan Carlin. Bloody would love to have those guys as a training partner. They won't give a shit about training. They talk about other kind of stuff. If it's going to be specifically training related and just having a session, Tom. Well, I've already given Tom a shout out, so let's go Michael Goulden. So Michael of Integra is a solid workout partner and has a tendency to like making me cry on things. So we'll let Michael be the person to train with. Also, this means I get to make him suffer a little bit because it's a training partner. So we'll go with that.
Correct. He's very softly spoken as well. So
he is very softly spoken.
Very,
you say
very
that,
nice.
not till you give him a bunch of tequila. He's not. That man has more stories than you'd think from the initial meetings. He's a dark horse. Let's just call it that.
Yeah, he's such a lovely, nice little man. So I've met him. Yeah.
No, there's darkness.
Loads of times, but interesting. I have to source that out of him at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what are you? I feel like you're going to be heavily on the BCAAs, obviously. So what are you drinking during and post? So we've already discussed pre that either kind of a warm beverage or your Monster. What are you going during and afterwards?
My drink. Are we looking at this through the lens of I'm trying to have the most optimum gym day, or just
no? You have your drink nice day, my friend. Like you're having a nice day. You like, what drink would you have whilst you're training? And if you're like, oh, definitely a White Russian, like that would be fine.
That's what I mean. I'm like, am I picking drinks here? Like, can I go with an old fashioned afterwards or a good red? I could roll with those afterwards. During, I mean, I'm only doing 2 exercises. How many sets am I doing on these fucking exercises?
Mate, you guys do fucking millions, so you got to take it up the whole time. So yeah,
this is the highest volume.
Well, you've got 10 feeder sets for a start.
Yeah,
so
it's needed. It's needed. Obviously,
plus with all there's you and Michael, taking it in turns with all the bands and all the
bands
an hour straight away.
You've all got your bespoke cuffs that you've got to fit on. So
yeah, which is my name
take
on
quite
it.
a while to. Yeah, that's fine. So
your name on it.
Embroidered cuffs. That's the new one. I don't know what the fuck I want to drink during it. I feel like some kind of soft drink would be fine. I'm feeling maybe some kind of... Ooh, I'll tell you what I do like on a warm one that I think is underrated. Oasis Summer Fruits. The light summer fruits is refreshing as fuck. So I'm going to throw that out because that's just delicious. Otherwise, yeah, that'll pretty much be it. I'm not envisaging this being like a 3-hour session where I feel the need to fuel myself through it. And then post, again, if I'm going to have something like that, I'm probably just going to have a shake again, and then just get smashed or something. But that depends. That depends where I'm at. So probably, if I'm chilling through, no one wants to drink red though. If I've training in the morning, so I'm kind of done here by like midday. Yeah. You can't start drinking red wine at midday. Like even if you go to a wedding, you can't drink red wine. You can't start on red wine. You're drinking the entire day. That's too long to be on red wine. You'll be asleep within like 4 hours. So you have to, you've got to pitch it based on what that is. And what have you guys picked for that?
I can't remember what we fucking picked, mate.
I can't remember.
Jesus Christ, I've got it written down somewhere.
just fucking water during, probably. I don't need anything fancy during it. I think afterwards it would have just been straight to brunch.
I used those little, I think
that didn't sound like an option. This sounded like I had to drink something.
No, it definitely didn't.
It's your dream gym day. You can do what you want.
We're going to. I'm assuming we're going to brunch afterwards because you already mentioned that at the top of the show. So
yeah, that sounds way better.
All right, so you're gonna pause on the drink and you're gonna have your drink at brunch.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have brunch.
So
brunch is great.
I'm assuming you don't really need the shake. That's why I was like, we're really going to have another fucking shake on your dream dinner day? That's 2 protein shakes. That sounds like the worst fucking day. Like,
wait till you get to the rest of my meals. It's just shakes the entire day. Like, cream of rice, obviously.
Sponsored by Huel as well, so that's great.
That stuff tastes like garbage. If we're going to go brunch, I want to do some kind of like fluffy American-style pancakes. Maybe some bacon, maple syrup, maybe some egg kind of thing in there.
Yes, Paul.
That's going to be more like it. Yeah.
That's what we're doing. So best post-workout meal is going to be that, right? Where is it going to be? Who's it going to be with? Are you saying Michael Golden can fuck off? He's done with his training session.
He's done. You're out now, Michael. Fuck off. So what would we pick for that? The Breakfast Club in London does do some pretty stellar pancakes, so that's not a bad shout. Who's coming? I mean, you could invite almost anyone to this. Do we have to talk about, if we're not, again, we keep coming back to, do we have to talk about the gym?
No. The gym part's done,
this is just turning into a dinner party conversation of like, who's your dream dinner guest?
This is very true. But then we also have to realize that you still have misophonia. So are you going to be around anybody whatsoever for brunch?
Well, I'm not going to be in a quiet room. We're not going to eat one at a time. Well, I'm just like, okay, once you finish, then I me. So it'll probably just be a group of like my mates from back home and some shit like that. Tell you what I do like, unrelated to kind of those things. Don't know if it works at brunch, but maybe after brunch or a few hours after brunch, depending on when the kind of time is. More than happy. Anytime anyone's playing a guitar live and singing some songs we can all fucking join in with. That'd be where I'm at. Like, imagine you're in a pub, but slightly later, you've had a few, everyone's now singing songs. This is my happy place. So it would be more little group, hang out, talk shit, listen to some dude play a guitar and play some tunes.
I can get behind that, definitely. Talk us through the meal again. I feel like it was just pancakes.
It was pancakes and like bacon, egg, maple syrup, that kind of American, big, fluffy, dirty meal.
Yeah. I feel like I need to go to America to have that. Do you know, like I've had it here and I feel like it's probably okay, but I just get this feeling over there it would just be infinitely better. Like just
I don't know where you go. Like IHOP is obviously famous for it, and I've had IHOP pancakes and they're pretty good, but I didn't necessarily think they were.
No, I think you need to go to like an independent. You need to go there'd be an independent diner somewhere in America that would just be like incredible. Do you know, just that. I don't know, it wouldn't be necessarily expensive or flashy, but it would just be so much better than what you get.
Genuine, fat and dirty. And I've yet to find one. So if anyone has any random recommendations for places in the US that we can go and just eat pancakes, that's super niche. I'll take ones. I'm in Oklahoma again later this year, so I'll take anyone. This is unlikely, and I assume this podcast is big in Oklahoma.
Massive.
Space.
Well, Tom Purvis listens, so you know, straight off the back.
Tom, hit me up. Yeah.
But you got the right answer there, mate. I think it's a good way, you know. Friends, you want to chill out with your friends after going to the gym, it's your dream day. You can do what you want. I think brunch with friends before you go into your pub and have your nice, you know, guitar singing person in the corner.
Guitar singing person that's excellent.
I imagine this answer is my day, I feel, sounds quite different to say Holly's.
Oh yeah, of course. That was.
Yeah, I mean,
I think Holly went back into the gym after having food afterwards. I think that was her thing. Couldn't wait to get back in there.
Wait, so her favourite thing post-workout was that the cream of rice thing?
No, she did actually eat, didn't she? She actually went out for some food.
Yeah. She went out for brunch, I think.
She went out for brunch as well, and it was like
everybody's.
It was a shashuka, was it? She said, I think something like that.
Shashuka, yeah.
I mean, not my
so
first
overrated.
Choice, but yeah, I heard the cream of rice was pre. That was the pre, obviously, because it's easy to digest. You know,
I can accept this.
Yeah, and it was cream of rice with protein sludge, and Tom was like, what?
What is this? I don't really understand.
I've put no donuts in my day so far, and that at some point needs to be rectified. If this is the dream day, then donuts need to feature for me.
Hey, throw some donuts in with your breakfast. Why not? Pancakes.
Mate, I feel like you throw it in during your workout. Surely you need to get some like
Krispy Kremes
intra-workout fucking carbs.
Even amongst powerlifters, I don't think I've ever seen anyone pull out some donuts.
Can you imagine?
To work out.
What's your best? What's your favorite donut then, Paul?
So. Now, if we're talking just a classic standard kind of jam donut, and we're in the UK, Sainsbury's do the best bog standard jam donuts, right? You can get 5 for 75p. You don't need 5. This is the problem. But 1 is also not enough.
Yes.
They need to sell packs of 2. This would make me happy. They don't. It's a bit annoying. Pull your finger out, Sainsbury's. Let's solve this problem for me. If we're going fancier and bigger, Krispy Kreme, their Biscoff one, is their best one, although the standard glazed is also great. And if you're going to do something like Donut Time in London, again, their David Hasselbiscoff, because all their names are puns, is also their best one. But that's a big fat stodgy donut. Occasionally I like a big fat fluffy custard filled one, but that's rarer. Have to be in the mood for it. But
I feel like for me, I'm partial to donut, and I think the whole Donut Time bigger ones are
bit too
more
much.
Overrated than people think.
Much.
I think they look great, and they're just not actually. But the thing is about them is they're not actually a good donut. It's the toppings and everything. You actually get to the actual donut, and it's not. For me, Krispy Kremes are just great the way that they're light, they're airy. Like, it's just the perfect combo. I just feel like they're so underrated as a donut. I would go Krispy Kremes over Donut Time. I would every time. I would go Krispy Kreme over a big freak donut thing.
Every now and then, I want the Hasselbiscoff, but. Otherwise, I would be with you. I'd rather regularly have a Krispy Kreme than a donut time.
So if anybody's not had the Hasselbiscoff, I've had that plenty of times, and I feel like it's a two-parter donut. You have to have a little pause when you're having it, and I have actually had a pause.
Amateur.
Like, I've had a pause, and I'm a child, so I went and got a pint of milk, and I was like, I need milk to wash.
Did you actually?
Yeah. I was walking through like Tower Bridge, and I was just like, no, I need to go 10 minutes to get some milk after I have this one. I was just like, to wash this down, because I felt like it was just too much stodge, but I needed the creaminess of the milk to go through. And I'm going
to discuss you in that case, because I've definitely eaten 2 donut time donuts in one sitting before.
I definitely could, but I was just like, I feel gross. I
wasn't proud. But
I feel like I want to get a donut now.
I know. I'm thinking, I'm like, what is it?
Down the road. Order a donut now.
Yes. The thing what's overrated though is Dunkin' Donuts. I think they're overrated.
Oh, they are the worst. They are the
bad,
worst.
Yeah.
Awful.
I don't understand how they're still going. In a universe that contains Krispy Kremes, well, we know what they taste like. How is Dunkin' Donuts still in business?
Yeah, agree with you. Big over here in Dubai. They're big Dunkin' Donuts. Yeah, I don't get it. Every time Israel wants to go, I'm like, you go. I'm not getting one. I'd much rather a Krispy Kreme. Like, I don't get it at all.
I'll tell you what you guys do have that we don't really, though, is Cinnabon.
Oh, fucking hell. That's just dangerous. That is just they're so sickly, and you can't stop eating them. You just can't stop. Like, so that's why you get sick with it, because it's like we just have to eat it. And when they're warm, it's just it's something else. It's I don't go past them very often because I would just eat too many of them. But the variations they have as well are just.
Yeah, you can get the little mini ones, so you can get one of each type thing sometimes, or you get the little pots instead.
The worst thing over here is you can get everything delivered to your house. Like, I could order a box of Cinnabon now, come to my house in 45 minutes. It's just dangerous. It's so dangerous. And I could do the same Krispy Kremes, to be fair. He said, looking on my phone.
He's just showing off now, isn't
he? Yeah,
pretty much.
The problem with my life is I'm doing too well. I can get anything I want. Click on my fingers.
That's
just a bit hot. That's all.
Just a bit hot the whole time. Yeah, fuck me. Right, let's review your whole day, Paul. So see if you need to make any changes and bring this to a nice little close. All right, so we've gone protein shake over protein bar. So that's where you're going to start. You're going to have an AM workout, I believe, 11:55. And your workout attire, you couldn't give a shit. Basically,
no, I said 90s gladiators, like 90s gladiators, or a Mr. Motivator. You remember what he used to wear? That full spandex.
Yeah, he's still going. He's still going. He's still going like regularly. If you ever watch daytime TV, as obviously I obviously do.
You've never sounded busier, Tom.
And then your music to listen to is either show tunes, history podcasts, or metal, which is great. Finally, someone that hasn't said, what's your shit that you listen to, Dan? Dan has no music taste, just FYI.
What's Dan listening to?
Anything except what you listen to, by the sounds of it. Literally. Yeah.
What do you listen to?
I'm the same as you, Paul. I listen to podcasts or house music. That's the two things.
Oh, you're one of the house people.
Yeah. What was the band? I don't know, producers. I don't know what they are. Who's the person that the last two people have had on? And
Fred again.
Still don't know. No idea.
Not a clue. Not a clue.
All right.
I understand Five Finger Death Punch, but Fred again. Why Fred again?
No idea.
There was no initial Fred. Why is he again?
Maybe there was a Fred. Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe. Workout partner was Michael Golden. So that'd be interesting. Perfect warm up. As many feeder sets as possible. Best exercise, you remind me, fucking hell.
I went Tom Purvis's Kaiser
This is the thing, it's just I'm not going to remember it, and I didn't write that down for this one because I was that's too long. And then in Tom Purvis's gym is where you're going to be, basically. I'm just put that best exercise in Tom Purvis's gym. So
but almost any of them would be fine. Yeah.
In Hawaii, so we're transporting Oklahoma's gym in Hawaui. With Michael Golden. Tom Purvis can be there just to show you stuff if needs be, and that'd be fine. For drink, you're going a white Monster. During, you're going for just anything essentially.
I said Oasis Summer Fruits.
Summer Fruits. I feel like that's going to be too
Delicious.
No, don't like I don't like the aftertaste that's gonna leave in my mouth. So
it's got a delicious aftertaste in the mouth.
Yeah, you'd be wrong there.
You'll love that finish in your mouth.
And then we're going straight into your your post-workout pancakes, surrounded by just friends. Wonderful, mate. I think is that a good day? Does it sound like a good day?
It sounds like half a day.
True. What you do for the rest of it, mate? Yeah.
I don't really know. I'm in Hawaii, so but fuck knows. We're off. I think we were off out somewhere and then going to listen to some shit. I'll go to watch we'll go watch Hamilton. That's what we'll do with the rest of the day, just to piss down.
Hamilton has flown into Hawaii to a very special small.
Man, I hold some sway in this day, don't I?
Beautiful. And the last question, because we brought this into the last one. If you were gonna hear somebody else in fitness, what would be their dream day? Who would you like to hear?
As in who you haven't had on, who do I want to hear?
Correct. And bear in mind, we only started this feature of the podcast in January, so we've had 3 people on so far. You
so I can go wide on this.
But we're also thinking we don't particularly. Amelia's been the exception to the rule, but because we like Amelia, so we don't really want to bring people. I don't know how many guests we've had on, 50, 60, 70 over the time we've had this. We don't really want to repeat book. Yeah. We might have to have Sook on because we're both friends with him, fuck's sake. But that's about it. We've had Mike on, fuck that. We won't be inviting him back. But yeah, someone we possibly might not have had. We'll go if we've already had him. So
he's full of energy. Do you know Joe Parrish?
Joe Parrish. I do know Joe Parrish, yeah.
Joe would probably be pretty good. He's fucking forever doing stuff. He's on cocaine all day. So, the antithesis of Dan's energy, let's call it. And I'd be curious to see what the fuck he'd come up with. So let's go, Joe. We'll go, Joe.
Joe Parrish. Beautiful. Nice. Dan, have we got anything else? Anything else that we need to ask Mr. Standell?
No, I don't believe so. I think that's everything. We've covered it all. We
Wonderful.
know too much about Paul now, I think.
Yeah, this is a big hitter. Yeah.
All right. We're going to bring this episode to a close. Absolute pleasure having you on, dude. I hope everybody's enjoyed this feature of what we were doing on the podcast. Where do people going to find you? I'm sure you'll get a raft of at least 2 followers off the back of this.
Those Oklahomans are going to be coming out as well. So Instagram is the easiest place to find me. Paul Standell, whack that in or whack the PT project and you'll find us there. That's basically it.
Beautiful. And obviously you'll be listening to this show when it comes out, so I'm not tell when it's coming out because obviously that's the hindsight.
It's a bit weird. Now after you've listened to this episode, it came out today.
So obviously love to have you on, mate, and thanks everybody for listening, and we will catch you with another guest very soon.
Thanks for having me on, boys.